the library change our e-resources system and a way to access databases, journals of our TMU campus last October. Okay, so currently, if you would like to connect or enter our e-resources, just remember, always start from the library website. Okay, so because while you enter or log in to our e-resources, you are connecting or setting up the of TMU campus access successfully. Okay, so if you find you cannot log into e-resources system successfully, that means you have not activated your own library account. So just follow the step I'll show you. Go to the library website and move your cursor on search and find, select the second option, library catalog, because the user profile stored on the library catalog system. Okay, so you have to visit the library catalog system and switch to English version. Click here, you can find login at the upper right corner. Okay, and click it, it will show, tell you all you need to log in with your TMU account. So just click the button here, and while you log into the system, at the first time you will show the pop-up. It's an agreement regarding personal information usage. So agree this agreement, then you can use all features or services, systems of library. Okay, so make sure you have active your own library account first. And after you activate your own account, okay, now you can log into our e-resources successfully. So you can find the e-resource system under search and find menu. Okay, so you can click here. Oh, sorry, maybe I need to log out first. Okay. Like this. Click the links here, and you can switch to English version, log in with your TMU account. Okay, so you have to log in. Then you can access all the databases and journals that the library subscribe to on or off TMU campus. Okay, so you don't need to connect to TMU VPN or setting up any proxy anymore. Just log into our system. Okay. So that's about activating your own account. And regarding the databases we talked today, I just want to show you how to activate your account. So today I record the class. So if you would like to review the class, I can tell you where can you find the video. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, and about actual topics about accessing a PubMed database. Although PubMed is a free database, if you would like to get the full text through PubMed database, you still need to start from the library website. Okay, so the library actually provides a shortcut on our website. Okay, so you can scroll down. Here you can find hard resources, and on the left-hand side you can find PubMed. Okay, and after you visit the PubMed database, we can check the URL. You can find it shows TMULIB. So that means this rules is only for our TMU readers. Okay, so make sure you start to search on PubMed or databases from the library website. And if you connect, if you search PubMed database through the TMU special rules, you can identify you can get a full text or not easily. Okay, so I think our speaker can show where can you find such features. Okay, so if you would like to get would like to watch the class video, okay, here you can go to services, instruction, and about instructions. Okay, so here, oh, sorry. I will update the links here, okay, because currently we will upload the video to our YouTube channel. I forget to update the link here, sorry. So I have to use the Chinese version. I'd like to show you, after you click the link, you can find the online document, shows like this. Okay, so I will provide the video links here, okay, and the slide. Okay, so just follow the steps, services, instruction, about instruction. I will update the links after the class, okay? And after you click a link here, you can, oh, sorry. Open. How can I? Okay, you can access the online sheet like this. Okay, just click and you will be directed to the YouTube. But don't forget to log in with your TMUL account, okay? Because all the video here are private. Okay, so log in with your TMUL account, then click a link, you can watch the video clips. Okay, so that's all about what I'd like to introduce first. Okay, so let me hand it over to our speaker. So let's start how to see how to use PubMed database.
Hi everyone, I'm the guest speaker today. Happy to be here. Today I'm gonna introduce some basic information about PubMed, and you are free to propose your question in the chat box. Why are we using PubMed? Because it is the largest database out there in the world, and which is global free access and maintained by US government. It supports systematic review and meta-analysis and some evidence-based practice and routine clinical work. Just a minute, please. Okay, we're back. So where are you using the PubMed? The first, I would suggest you log into the PubMed right here in the right upper area. If you have a Google account, you can just log in with your Google account. So if you are in front of the computer, maybe you can try to log in. And while you log into your PubMed with your account, you can try to click your ID here, and it will has a drop-down menu, and go to account setting and go to site preferences and pick up a color you like to highlight your keyword here, and pick up a color and click save. And this is actually in the PubMed there are some preferences setting that you can do in PubMed, and this is one of them. So today I will use deep vein thrombosis as my example. So if you simply put the deep vein thrombosis in basic search, you will see some results with the highlight with your color, and you will see the sidebar, which is filter. So I will show if in your situation, if your scenario is not only deep vein thrombosis, but is a deep vein thrombosis in aged 65 years old above female, and you want to the study design as a randomized control trial, what can you do? First, you can put a check in the randomized control trial and female, and maybe you should go to the additional filters and check the female and aged, and you will see some result is narrower. Okay, let me go back to some slide that I skipped just now. So this is the basic interface in PubMed, which you can see in the first is basic search. And here are some other resources or some other advanced functions. Maybe we will not cover all of them today, but I will cover some important functions today. And we will use, in the later, we will see the number 3, advanced search, number 4, MASH database, and we just experienced number 9, the sidebar filter, and yeah, and number 8 is the sorting. By default is best match. And maybe in some cases, maybe you want to sort by like publication date or something. We will experience later. And we will also cover number 14, which is search detail and some action items. We will use Boolean operators and or in the action items here. So in this basic search, strongly recommend you try to practice, use a concept and select like different study type or different article type or different publication date. And that can be both, like maybe I can pick up randomized control trial and controlled clinical trial. If you pick up controlled clinical trial and randomized control trial, that is actually operated by the Boolean operation or. That means you will include clinical trial and randomized control trial. And go additional filters to find some other filters like sex, like age, and some other additional filters. And please note that, like I mentioned before, the result is best match by default, and you can change by like publication date. So in some case, like if you are doing systematic review, or the first step is maybe you want to try find some randomized control trial. So in this case, I will use publication date as my sorting, so that I can see if the randomized control trial has been done by someone else. So that'll be better if I can use the publication date when I want to do the systematic review or doing the randomized control trial to check someone else maybe already done this RCT. So in here, in the search history, in my search strategy, you can see the different level. The first, I just simply put deep vein thrombosis. And in the number 2, I add study design, which is randomized control trial. And in the number 3, I applied female filter. In the number 4, I applied age filter. So you can see the number goes smaller. And when you, here is the 2 Boolean operators. Just a reminder, you have to very clearly understand when to use and when to use or. When you are use and, that means the article will contain A and B concept in the same time, in the same article. And if you are using or, which is contain either one, either A or B, so use or is always broader. When you just simply put your search term, and go to advanced search, and please try to click the search detail here, a little very simple arrow symbol. It will show the search detail, and it will show how PubMed do behind your search. So take my example is deep vein thrombosis. You will notice that in the search detail, the PubMed shows not only deep vein thrombosis, but this like venous thrombosis and bracket mesh term or venous in O field. We will cover mesh term later, and now I will explain the O field means in all different field tag like title, abstract, keyword, journal title, will all contains venous. So this search interpretation looks very comprehensive. And also, of course, it contains the deep vein thrombosis that you just type in O field. So this search strategy looks nice. And we just skip the MASH, which is the full name is medical subject heading. In this medical subject heading is the medical concept that is managed by some professional, maybe medical professional or informatics professional to organize the hierarchy or concept with a certain concept. So in this case, we take cancer for example. If you want to check the MASH term for cancer, you can see the structure of cancer from broad to narrow. And also you will notice that the MASH term of cancer is not cancer, but neoplasms. So we can see the structure and the like relevant or synonym term of cancer. And so today's example is deep vein thrombosis. So if again, I took deep vein thrombosis as example, in the MASH term, you will see venous thrombosis and some narrow terms and some relevant concept, or even you can say is similar or synonym terms in the MASH. And here is more synonym terms in MASH term of vein thrombosis. And here is how you can go to the MASH database. We actually didn't go to the MASH database. Remember that I just simply put a search term in basic search, but I didn't go to MASH database manually. But now I want to show how to go to the MASH data manually when maybe sometimes you need to go to the MASH database manually. Please go to the homepage of PubMed and go to the MASH database link right here. and go to the MASH. This database is MASH database, but this is not a citation database. In this database, it contains MASH term, or we can say MASH concept only. So when we type the term, you will see some relevant MASH terms here. And obviously, my target should be this one. And you can see the structure of this term and some synonym or relevant concept here. And you will see some subheading I will show you later. Okay, now we are in the medical subject heading database. In the cases, if you want to find drug therapy of middle-aged women with deep vein thrombosis, try to think about this. If you are the researcher, how will you do this? Of course, you can go to the basic page and put deep vein thrombosis and maybe put middle age as your search term. But there is another way, like we just showed just now. We can use filter to filter middle age or filter the sex. And how can I do if I want to do some more drug therapy? One way is go to MASH database and looking for the MASH term you want to search. In some cases, some term does not have a MASH term, but in the deep vein thrombosis, this term has MASH term. So we go to MASH database and we check and we found we have MASH term here, and we go to the target term we want. And the next step is go to the subheading. Here are lots of different categories, which is subheading of only for venous thrombosis, only for this one. So in this case, you want the drug therapy. You can find out drug therapy and go to add to search builder and then search PubMed. What will you get in this case? In this case, you will get deep vein thrombosis, and the subheading is drug therapy, and search PubMed. You will get smaller numbers. And remember, my scenario is female and 65 above age. So still, I need to put my filter. Put my filter in my age and female and drug therapy as my subheading of MASH term. And your filter will show here. So you can use subheading plus some filters, some appropriate filters. And how about if in these cases, the number is still too large? If you are not doing systematic review, if you have very limited time and want to find some more important or specific article to your topic, there is another way, which is restrict to MASH major topic. So when you type the MASH term, go to the MASH database and find the appropriate subheading, and you found the article number is still too big, you can go back to MASH database and try to restrict to MASH major topic. If you put the restrict to MASH major topic, the number will get smaller and the citation will get more specific. Okay, so you can see the number get smaller. So, and of course, at this moment, you can still apply some other filters, like maybe you want to limit the publication date. You can just scroll this bar, or some other different filters behind. In the evidence-based medicine field, we usually say in a scenario, you can use the PICO structure to arrange your scenario. And this is the meaning of PICO, patient intervention comparison and outcome. So in your scenario or in your research topic, it's most likely like this or more complicated. And you can try to structure that by PICO pattern. So when you try to structure your scenario as PICO pattern, you can, of course, in this case, is your P using Boolean logic A and D and I. In some cases, we can use include PICO. We can include O, but in most cases, I think we can start from only P and I and see what happens. Because if you are include the outcome, the result might be a little bit more too specific, and you can, that is possible to lose some important articles. So in this case, maybe we can start from only P, A, and D, I. Okay, so in here, this is another clinical example of clinical question. Is exercise can help to improve patients' muscle power during dialysis? And in my P, I got a lot of different synonyms, different search terms here. I may think about like dialysis, end-stage renal disease, chronic kidney disease, and something like this. And the exercise, I also came out a lot of different synonyms. And the comparison is not doing any exercise. And the outcome is the power of muscle. And in this, first, please notice that I have a lot of synonyms in my P, in my patient. But please don't put all terms in one line. I will show you later. Please note here, I put the number 1 is dialysis. Number 2 is end-stage renal disease, or maybe a lot of different terms, that's chronic kidney disease, or some different terms. I just took 3, for example. And I will combine the 1, 2, and 3 together with or, because I want to make that bigger, broader, comprehensive. So I click Add Query in my first one. And I click or in number 2 and number 3. And where should I click? I should click in the actions here, the little dot here. So I will make one new search strategy, which is combined with number 1, number 2, number 3 with or. And my intervention is exercise. So I have exercise training. I have electronic cycle machine. I have exercise. I have physical activity. So it's the same. It's the same thing. I click the dot and I combine number 4, 5, 6, 7 with or, and I will get a very big exercise. So you will see my number 8 and number 9. My number 8 was composed of 1, 2, 3, and my number 9 is composed of 4, 5, 6, 7. And the number 10 obviously is combined with number 8 and number 9. And after this, of course, you can add some filters if need. In this case, I will strongly recommend, just like I mentioned before, please don't put everything in the one line like this. Dialysis or end-stage renal disease or chronic kidney disease and exercise training, blah, blah, blah. Please don't do this, never. Because that would mess up, make your search strategy very messy. Always separate like this. This is more clearly and more flexible. So please remember this. And there is another thing that I want to remind. Once you make a search strategy, like this one, very clearly and very structured, and you want to save and maintain your search strategy, you can click the download here. The download here will produce an TXT file or a CSV file or Excel file, something like that. I think it's better to manage your search strategy and record your search strategy in case in the later maybe you want to fix or change. So this is also recommend that you click the download to save your search strategy in your PC. And this is the summary of the MASH. MASH is like maintained by medical NLM, National Medical Library, and the MASH term can arrange and manage a synonym concept together so that takes the example we just mentioned, like deep vein thrombosis or cancer or some other medical terms. Maybe are slightly different in the terms, but that means the same thing. That will be all arranged and all managed by MASH term, by MASH database. And in most of the situation, it is enough to just put the basic search, because if you let's see the deep vein thrombosis, I just put the basic search, but it goes to the MASH term automatically. And in some cases, you may need to go to the MASH database manually. And this is some other little reminder, because there are only about 85% of citations contain MASH information in PubMed, because PubMed is actually composed of 3 databases, which is Mainline, PubMed Central, and the other is Book Resources. So in the Mainline, contains the MASH information, but some other doesn't. So only 85% citation. So that means you are strongly recommend to use MASH term and plus natural language. That means not MASH term, but I will explain clearly later. So let's see the other example, which is match term and natural language. I just show you how to go to the match database. And also we just learned when we use a match term, when a concept has match term, it has a lot of relevant and synonyms in one match term, and which is good. However, why in this slide still recommend you to not only rely on match term, because let's take autism, for example. If we go to the autism in match term, and we'll go to it. Please note that here is match database. This is not citation, PubMed citation. Okay, I just enter autism, and I found that this one is what I want. And here is some synonyms here. And this also looks good, and also has some synonyms here. And I can simply put this match term, add to search builder. And I can also put autism spectrum disorder and search PubMed. I got some result. But if I just, in this case, I only contains match term of autistic disorder and autism spectrum disorder, match term only. And in this case, I just simply put autism in basic search, and I get more results. And why would we have results like this? Okay, again, go to the advanced search, click the arrow symbol here, and see what happened inside. The match term obviously go to the match term only. But the natural language, actually is the basic search, goes to match term, autistic disorder, and some natural language, like O field. So in the O field, again, I mentioned before, in the O field, that will contain title, abstract, keyword, journal title, and something like that. If you still worry and don't know how to select, use natural language or match term, maybe we can just simply put these two together to get more results of this. And we'll see the number. There's a slightly different, and this one obviously is the most comprehensive one. And since we have the search detail here, you are encouraged to check the search detail to discover what happened behind the search. Like the deep vein thrombosis, it interpreted or translate or mapping to the match term, which is venous thrombosis. This is good. And also, like we just mentioned before, it also go to the O field. So this looks good. And sometimes bad or inappropriate interpretations happens. In this case, my keyword is kangaroo care. And like what we expect, the kangaroo care automatically map the match term as the kangaroo, the real kangaroo, the animal kangaroo, because this macropetadite is the formal name of the animal kangaroo. But in the medical field, when we talk about kangaroo care, which is actually a way to care newborn baby. So this can explain some very strange results of your searching. So when you found your searching is strange, or maybe the first step before talking to the librarian, the first step is go to search detail to check what happened inside. And this is a summary and remind. Basically, we use the action button to put the Boolean operator or and. But in some cases, we will need to use the Boolean operator manually. Please use capital letter. And always remember when to use and, when to use or. And the other small tips is the double quotations. In the kangaroo care case, if I don't put kangaroo care, if I don't put double quotations in kangaroo care, the PubMed helped me to go to the MASH database automatically behind my search. However, the interpretation is bad because it goes to the animal. So I want to force PubMed to link kangaroo and care together and don't go to the MASH database. So it's simply to put the double quotation together. But in this case, because the double quotation kangaroo care doesn't goes to any MASH, so that means you might have to manually think about the synonym on your own, like maybe double quotations, kangaroo care, or double quotation, kangaroo mother care, kangaroo skin care, something like this, and combine with the Boolean operator or. Okay, I think I will stop here and we still have some time left. I think I can answer some questions if you have, and you can type your question in the chat box. Yes, please. I will type my email here. You're welcome. Okay, if no more questions, thank you for joining us today. See you. We got one more question. I will simply respond here. Yeah, okay, I got it. Let me go. 我还有那个分享吗？ What you talk is about another database called Embase. So I will simply choose lung disease. The EXP mean in the Embase means the narrow concept below lung disease. And in the PubMed, if we don't put this check here, do not include mesh term found below in this term, it will include the narrow concept below this one. And symptom, the star. The star means truncation that I choose to escape today because truncation must be very, very careful to use, because although the truncation, actually the meaning of the truncation is include the various words in the end of a single word. But it should be very careful, because if you use truncation, if you use the little star, it calls truncation, it will not go to the MASH database. So it should be very, very careful to use. And the other question is ADJ2. The ADJ is how to say that word? Proximity. Oh yeah, right. Proximity. Yeah, that's a little bit complicated word. That means you can, like in mother kangaroo care, ADJ2. That means in mother you can tolerate 2 words between kangaroo and care. And the same, if you use the proximity function, that will not goes to any medical subject heading. In PubMed we call MASH, and in Embase we call M3. And this is pretty advanced skills, and that should be very careful use. So that is why I don't cover that today. But thank you for your question. And the PowerPoint slide and the recording will upload later by the TMUL library. You're welcome.